Hey everybody, welcome back. So, they have finally gone and done it. They have given us the first major patch that will affect multiplayer in a positive way. Well, I mean, not the first one that affects it in a positive way, but the first major one that does. We're going to go through and talk about the patch notes, all the different things, all the fun stuff. I'm not going to get into numbers too much, except for like maybe one thing I might talk a little bit about numbers on, just because I happen to be around in Discord when somebody was talking about it. And that's really about it. But let's go ahead and start getting into this. Let's start with the weapons. First things first, the explosive thrower, the Tai Yang Shu, increased effective range / total rounds, decreased reload time. This is the thing that we're actually going to talk about with the numbers on the one thing. The increased effective range is said to be about 56% increased range. So it's pretty significant considering this thing was already kind of like not exactly super like melee-ish. And now it goes out to about like 120 meters or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it's a big old boost to the explosive thrower. And of course, linear rifles both got some love. The Curtis got a decrease in recoil and charge time, while the Harris got also an increase to charge attack power and cooling. The reason why the Harris got a little bit more love is because in the previous time when there was already a patch, the Curtis had gotten a little bit of love ahead of time. The Harris got none on that last one. And that's where we're at with those. Moving on, we got the shotguns. For those of you out there who love your shotguns, I have some sad news for you. The Haldeman decreased direct hit adjustment. This means that if you've staggered them, you're not going to do quite as much damage as you did before if you had staggered them. Now that's what direct hit adjustment is. That's specifically just after you staggered the opponent. That's the direct hit adjustment. Still hits just as hard as it did before, still has just the same amount of impact. So the Haldeman didn't really get too bad. The Zimmerman, on the other hand, got the band hammer taken down onto it, basically. Decreased attack power, impact, accumulative impact, direct hit adjustment, all of it got taken down. This thing was godlike before. It's still pretty strong, but it's not quite as strong as it was. Both the handguns, the Coquelette and the Ducat, just got increase in total rounds. The same thing with the burst handgun and the needle gun. Pretty much all the handgun type guns got an increase in total rounds. Moving on to the bazookas. We have increased projectile speed and decreased reload time, going pretty much across the board for all the bazookas. Same thing on all 4 of them, including the Javelin Alpha, which I think is the hand bazooka, maybe? I don't quote me on that, I can't remember. I'm not looking at the game right this second, and I don't plan on going to, because that's how I be. Moving on to the grenades. Well, the grenade launchers. Every grenade launcher got this one little included aspect to it. Rounds now explode upon reaching their effective range, even if they don't make contact. This means that every grenade has a air burst now. So you can, as long as you know what the effective range is, and you've got it dialed in, and you have the enemy at that range, fire away. Doesn't matter if they're on the ground or if they're in the air, you're still gonna get something. Now to get into a little bit more in depth of each one, the Go Chen has an increase in total rounds, projectile speed, and the decreased reload time. The Dizzy got an increase in total rounds, projectile speed, a decrease in reload time. The effective range was also adjusted. The Iridium, same thing, increase in total rounds, projectile speed, decrease in reload time, but also a reduce in the sway caused by accumulated recoil, as in sustained fire, because this is the one grenade thing that could basically do sustained fire. And skipping down a little bit to continue talking more about the grenades before we move on, the Earshot and the Songbirds. The Earshot, we have decreased reload time. Rounds now explode upon reaching their effective range even if they don't make contact. And the Songbirds, decreased attack power, impact, accumulative impact. Rounds now explode upon reaching their effective range even if they don't make contact. That's right, the Songbirds got a little bit of a debuff. Going back up to the Nebula, the plasma rifle. We also have another debuff here. Decrease in charge attack power, charge impact, and charge accumulative impact. Increase in charge time. Pretty much across the board on debuff for that weapon. And the Siege Hand missile also got a debuff of the increased reload time and a decrease in its guidance. Moving on, next we have the Stun Needle Launcher, the VE60 SNA. It got a decrease in impact, a cumulative impact, and direct hit adjustment, attack power on consecutive attacks. This thing kinda needed a debuff, it was getting abused. I just hope it doesn't affect the single player too much. I don't know if it will, I don't know if it's even connected. Laser Cannon, VP60 LCS, got an increase in rounds, alongside the Diffuser Laser Cannon, the VP60 LCD. Also, the Pulse Shield Launcher got an increase in total rounds, along with durability on the shield, and a decrease in the weight and energy load, making this a little bit more versatile across other builds. Lightwave Cannon Aurora got a decrease in energy load, and now the energy firearm spec applies to this weapon, which means if you have a generator that gives you better energy firearm specialty, this will be affected by it. Yay! Moving on to missiles. So the dual missiles, the 2, the 3, and the duo, the PO8 duo 3, all got an increase in attack power, impact, and accumulative impact, guidance, and projectile speed. The active homing missile got an increase in guidance, homing lock time, and projectile speed. Needle missiles, the Trunos, they got a little bit of a debuff. Decrease in guidance. Projectiles now follow a stable trajectory. These things go in basically a straight line now. And the Coral Missile got a decrease in charge attack power, charge impact, charge cumulative impact, and direct hit adjustment. This was direly needed. This thing could one-hit light ACs. And moving on to the laser turret and the laser orbit. The laser orbit got an increased attack power and direct hit adjustment, ideal range, effective range, and projectile speed. And the laser turret got an increase in projectile speed, laser turret attack frequency. Now we're getting into the core parts that make the body and all that. We're going to start with the head pieces. I've got these grouped up a little bit in accordance to what actually was increased or decreased on them. And we're going to start with the heads that got an increase to the system recovery. This is the Basho, the Varel, the Finder Eye, the BC Shade Eye, the Wrecker, the Fermezza, and the Alba. Moving on to the heads that got an increase to altitude stability and system recovery, we have the Melander C3, the Tianqiang, VP44S, the VE44A, and the Mind Alpha. And the heads that got a decrease to attitude stability were the VP44D and the Mind Beta. Moving on to the cores, the Noctwire 40E got an increase in attitude stability and generator output adjustment. And the Ephemera got a decrease to AP, anti-energy defense, and anti-explosive defense and attitude stability. Alright, now moving into the arms, we got a decrease in anti-kinetic defense and anti-explosive defense on both the Basho and the Jailbreak. And pretty much every single other arm got an increase to recoil control. Thank God. Now moving on to the legs. Starting with the bipedals, pretty much most every single bipedal got an increased attitude stability and jump distance. We get down to the crawler there, it got an increase to the load limit as well. The Wrecker and the Desert got increased in AP. The Fermezza is only an increase in jump distance, and the rest are increase in attitude stability and jump distance. Moving on down here to the reverse joints, we have the Kazwar, the 42Z, increases the attitude stability, as well as the Mind Beta and the Spring Chicken, all three. And the Tetrapods both got a decrease in AP. Probably could have used a little bit more than just that, but it's a good start. And for the tank legs, only the Fortaleza got a debuff, the decrease in anti-kinetic defense, anti-energy defense, and anti-explosive defense, and attitude stability. Now moving on to the inner parts, we have the boosters, which all got an increase to upward thrust. Now we can all jump better, yay! As for FCS, the three close range FCSs, the PO5, the Abbott, and the Talbot, all got a decrease to the close range assist. It didn't really need to be that strong in the first place. On to the generators, the Joso and the Yaba both got an increase to energy capacity, supply recovery, and energy firearm specialty, while the Hokoshi only got an increase to energy capacity and energy firearm specialty. And for the expansion parts, we got pulse protection, got increased resilience, and terminal armor got increased to duration. Now here we're on part where we're talking a little bit about what happened as far as balancing in the actual battle goes, not really specific to weapons, but we'll go ahead and start at the top. We got adjusted attitude recovery rate according to total weight. ACS strain now dissipates much faster on lighter ACs and slightly slower on heavier ACs. This was a big deal. The tank legs were losing their ACS strain so quickly, and it was making it very one-sided. Adjusted various boost speed rates according to total weight. Decreased top speed during assault boost for heavier ACs. Getting into the stuff there, the meat of what we needed. Decreased the boost kick attack range for tetrapod legs. Increased energy consumption while hovering with tetrapod legs. Decreased impact reduction effect during assault boost. Decreased impact / accumulative impact dealt when colliding with enemies during assault boost. Decreased the impact / accumulative impact dealt by a boost kick from all leg types except reverse joint. And adjusted the damage dealt by certain weapons when attacking the pulse shield deployed from pulse shield launcher. You'll eat that. The boost kicks, the assault boost stuff, all the debuffs to assault boost, those were humongous. A good move in the correct direction. We could use a little bit more. We could use some more effects on some more weapons having better ranges. I know some of our people out here want some more long range battle to be capable, and right now we just don't have any real snipers. We've gotten it from being a close range battle game to a mid-range battle game. We do have one last little bit here to talk about, is a couple of bug fixes. Fixed a bug with Coral Oscillator WLT 101 where charged attacks would have stronger tracking than intended when using tetrapod legs. This is good, because the Coral Oscillator was ridiculous. It was almost impossible to get away from. Fixed a bug where the attack warning marker would not display for an enemy AC firing detonating missile Javelin Beta equipped to the left back slot. Fixed a bug where the attack warning sound would not play correctly for an enemy firing grenade Iridium. Fixed a bug where charged attacks from Lightwave Blade IACO Moonlight and the Redshift Moonlight would clip through certain structures and objects. No more using Moonlight through buildings and walls. Stop doing it anyway. Fixed a bug where reloading with a full magazine would cause certain weapons to fire unintentionally. And other bug fixes that we don't really care about, because the rest of it. But again, I'm going to say it is a good move in the correct direction, but we need a little bit more. I know I am not alone on that. I know that there are other YouTubers out there that I have spoken with that are massive fans of Armored Core, the whole entire series, that agree with me, who have basically been saying it more than me. But this is good. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and come back for more. See you later.